Okay, so the church, as we said earlier, has now moved from KP, that's popular in Hindi, and then has reached to the Loma people. But before then, they sent scout to find out, and boy said, no, who was the commissioner said, oh no, you can't do that unless you let us know. And then the missionary went through all the processes and then brought the paper, and the church began, all the mission work started. So after that, the church began to grow. First, the group of people baptized were from the school. Then later on, the work of the church moved around the Zozo area, and you will get to know that in the note you have right there with you. So from there, the church went to Salaye. So when they got to Salaye, at this time now, the school that was in Nuremberg, LTR, Lutheran Training Institute, were transferred also to uh, Salaye, and that was in 1957. It was this place where the early uh, pastors of the church, the first group of Liberian pastors, not the one that was ordained by DAD, but the one that was really Liberian indigenous. They were trained there. We used to call them the Big Four. They were Pastor Jackson. All of them are lit now. So Pastor Jackson, Pastor Manawu, Pastor Baipo, and Pastor Vankpana. These were the first four pastors that were trained in the Lutheran Theological School at LTI. And this school came out from what was referred to as the Christian Worker uh, School. So those who work in the church was trained in that school, and then the pastors were also trained there. And from there, the church, people who went to school there, and that time it was the school system. The school system had started, so people from all over the Lutheran church, like people from Nuremberg, students from Nuremberg, Nuremberg, KP, Sanoye will come to Turuta for junior high school. Then later they will go to LTI, and when they graduate, they were out of high school now. But at this time, it had not yet reached that time because it was very soon yet. So people who were in LTI who graduated from there went to Monrovia to seek further education. And most of them, if not all, most of them went to the College of West Africa, CWA, a Methodist run school. So they were there, and then there was that group that started having Bible studies at the Methodist School auditorium. And they were assisted by a pastor whose name is also in the note. And then this pastor helped them when they got together. Then they later on moved to Camp Johnson Road to their SDA church. And there they started there they organized the St. Peter's Lutheran Church. And at the time, Lutheran work in Monrovia was not as it is. In fact, at that time, before that time, they only had a business house where a business manager worked and to coordinate the affairs of the work that was going on. When missionary came in, they lodged there and then passed and went to their various places of assignment. So that's how come the Lutheran Church began in Monrovia. And they began to work there until how the church got to the southeast. The story is that there was a man, Omer Tadi. He was a member of the St. Peter's Lutheran Church. And then the people from Palipo area, or Pudupu as the place is named. The place called Pudupu, Pudupu is a Gribble language meaning babysitter. So the people from that chiefdom that were residing in Monrovia had an annual meeting. So during one of those meetings, the Parliament chief, one Omehine, went there. And then when he got there, he met with Omer Tade, who was member of St. Peter's Lutheran Church. And Omer Tade told the chief that The church he attended, which was a Lutheran church, is a church that help people and care about people. They wanted, so then the old man talked with old man Tade, and then they went to Bishop to find out how they would get a church established in the southeast. But the process was so long until the old man died, the paramount chief. So after that, the one that succeeded him went to Monrovia for the same visit again, for the same meeting purpose. Then it was that time Omer Tade again explained the story to him. So they went to the Lutheran church in Liberia to establish a branch in the southeast. Luckily for them, the Church of Bavaria, the German church, had come to Liberia and was willing to establish a mission through the Lutheran church in Liberia. So then they were asked to go to LTR where this request was going to be discussed. So when they went to LTR for that convention, it was agreed upon that yes, the church must go to the southeast. So they agreed to carry the church to the southeast, specifically in the Palipo area. So they got there. They went to Palipo and got some students, about 25 of them. Those people were being monitored by the late Bishop Laurent J. Ping when he was a pastor. So they assigned a car to that project, and he used to go for them during the breaks and carry them to the southeast and go for them and bring them back on campus. So it was out of that group. We have the late pastor Nimatai, who died, who died in the massacre that took place during the early part of the civil crisis in Liberia. Then the people in that place gave 250 acres of land. They gave 50 acres in Palipo area where the church could be built, and then they should have a school and then a clinic. So these things were done. And then they had another 200 acres that was slated, that was slated for agricultural work. So that is what was referred to as the Palipo project. And this project was there with the hope that the church, the school, the clinic, and an agricultural farm will be established there. So that's how it was like. And after that, people began to go to the seminary. So when the late Reverend Tai was there, when he left, Pastor Young was sent there. So when Pastor Young graduated, he was assigned to the Grand Cru area, and Pastor Nimetali was in the Palipo area, and he was coordinator of the Palipo project. So that's how come the church started working. And then, of course, you will see the list of pastors that were trained after that. Even the nurse that was trained, all of them. Of course, this time you will see that most of them are not there, because even the pastors that succeeded Reverend Young after the demise of Reverend Tai, the pastor that went there is right now in Palipo, in Facestown, where he's teaching. So that's how come the church went there. And of course, it was last convention, the convention we had in Palipo, in the southeast, in Newaken, was the time the Grand Cru parish was divided into other parishes. So the church work now is in that place from Zredru all the way to Cape Palmas, and then from Grand Cru all the way to even Sino. We had a mission in Sino called the Troll Mission. So those are places where the Lutheran Church have gone, and we hope that these places will be properly manned by us Liberian, most especially Liberian pastors of the church, because we have come to know that from the onset of the establishment of this church, missionaries have been here doing all what they could, sacrificing, doing everything, sending resources, in fact, dying on the field. I'm not saying that we should die on the field, but I'm saying that it's now time for us Liberian Lutheran to take care of that place. So please, this is how far we went with the church, and that's how come we got to the southeast. Thank you for listening.